What's up, y'all? This is AD Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. Brothers of Legacy will be starting in the next few minutes, as you can see by the timer. But I just wanted to thank you for watching and being a part of our growth and all the things that we are a part of. BOL is really making an impact in the community and the people around it. It's very encouraging to have the opportunity to meet people that have seen the program. Also, I want to encourage you to watch the other programs that I'm a part of and BOL is connected to, like Sisters of Legacy, Purpose for Forever, Solomon's Temple, and the Brothers Who Talk. We are in the process of doing some big things coming in December, and I'm excited for the changes that are happening. So, two things I need you to do. First off, I know you're watching this, so make sure you share. This is an opportunity to share. Yes, we're not live yet, but this is your chance to share. Tag somebody, tag another brother, tag another sister that really needs to be a part of this community as we discuss the issues that we're facing as men, as Black men, and as leaders in our household. It is imperative that you are a part of this conversation, because through conversation, change happens. Also, and I've said this before, but we are in the process of growing and expanding. And with that, we're asking you to contribute into that growth. So you have an opportunity to go to Cash App, $BOL 2019. This gives you an opportunity to invest in Brothers of Legacy growth as we reach different states and reach out and connect with you straight away and help other men become better men. So even if you don't give one time, you can give. I'm pushing the dollar drive, just $1. You know, if you do it once a month, $1, it helps with our growth. Every little bit helps. So I'm encouraging you to when you have the opportunity, do it now, right before we start. You can give into the Brothers of Legacy. So stay tuned. Listen, we have an awesome show as we always do. I appreciate you taking this time, and time is running short. So I want you to be blessed, keep pushing, keep growing, and enjoy the show. Yo, what up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. All right.
I'm down in the hood, y'all. Happy
morning. Yes.
If you were a T-Mobile customer, T-Mobile Tuesday. Yeah, thank you. That was a joke.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Oh, what's up, Lisa? Good morning. Blessings, sports car lady. Cheryl in the building. Deborah in the building. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Always make sure you're sharing. We have an amazing conversation today. We are switching up from politics just for today.
Hallelujah.
And we're talking about our men choosing what's appropriate. And I'm going to read off a post I read.
You might want to share this out. I'm telling you, I might want to share this.
Tag some of the ladies in this conversation, because we're going to talk today, have a real conversation, delve into the uncomfortable. And if you didn't see, I had a kind of uncomfortable conversation last night with my lady. We talked about having male or women friends, opposite sex friends. So that was a good conversation till we had some technical difficulties.
I bet you did.
Part two. We'll have a part 2 of that. What up, Dwayne? Hopefully you're coming on the other side of this. Yeah, man. So stay tuned. We're going to have an awesome conversation. Hopefully my brother, Mr. Goodson, will be in the building today. All right. So hold tight, hang tight. Let's get into it. I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another episode. Good morning. Everybody. It still was a great conversation, Sam. She said, "Don't do that with the angry face." So, all my podcast people, I appreciate you guys listening as well. So, I'm going to do my very best to describe everything that's happening, so you don't miss anything that's happening on screen that is not said in words. So today, uh,
Good morning,
um,
Sam, by the way. Hey, V.
yes, good morning, Sam. V in the building. Great morning to you. So I was reading this post. It's kind of long. I was like, am I put it up? I'm gonna have to kind of skip through it. But I was curious to see what my brothers thought about it. Uno momento. Let's see. All right, let's start from. Nope, not there. All right. All right, so I was scrolling this morning, as always, that most of us do. Once you kind of wake up, open your eyes. Sam says hi. She gives a hand signal. So I was scrolling this morning, and a gentleman was someone posted it. It was like, "Hey man, some ladies was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about," and I was like, I don't know. So okay, let's get into it. So it also says, "I am a gay man who was raised in a heteronormative world. A part of this world I've always been baffled by is modesty culture." All right, he said the main premise of modesty culture is that women need to dress in a way that doesn't provoke sexual response in men. And he says, which is insane. So he says, I think it's absolutely crazy that a man can look at a woman and say, I think you should wear something else because seeing your skin makes me feel aroused. Um,
Thanks,
and
Cole.
that, and that, oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Cole. um, so he says, and that arousal is strong, and I haven't learned how to appropriately manage it. So please change your clothes. So he said, this is bonkers, especially when men then start to claim that a woman is worth more if they dress a certain way, as if covering flesh somehow earns a woman's value, all because it doesn't evoke a sexual response in men. And then if a woman doesn't do this, well, now a man has the right to chastise a woman, call her names, say she is slutty and wicked, all because he is having a response. All right. Um, there's a little bit more to it. Oh, okay. D's in the building. Great morning to you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That
I
was
hate
all
this close up.
right. Listen, it's helpful, my brother. It's helpful. So pretty much he goes on to say that it's okay for men to to be undressed, not have a shirt on, and to kind of walk around in certain ways. He says, as I started off as a gay man, he says, should I tell a man he shouldn't wear baggy shorts because I may see some stuff? He said, yes, there's responses that I have by seeing other dudes that way. He says, is it whose responsibility is it? And that was his main point. Like, it's our responsibility. And he was saying this kind of language promotes a rape culture, saying, kind of like it's her fault because she dressed. Let's see. There we go. So, what's your guys' initial response to that?
This I'm good.
I'm gonna let Dwayne kick this one off.
Bros. Twofold.
Yes.
Everything he said is absolutely right. Comma. However,
there you go.
Semicolon.
I was just going to say what?
Comma. However, semicolon. Just because what he said is true does not negate our personal responsibility.
Right.
Because we have to, we're responsible for our own actions.
Right.
Yes, there are things that happen in our mind and to our bodies because of our sensuality and our fleshly and physical instinct. Right. You're absolutely right, sir. However, what you do with that, that's completely up to you. Right. Now, I'm going to go in and do some scriptures, but before I go in, I'm going to allow this conversation to open up a little bit. But okay. No, sir, you are right. Everything you said about the way we typically operate and typically respond to certain stimulus, you are absolutely right. Right. However, you cannot blame a woman for you doing Now, I'm not saying you wanting to do something to them because you see them in a certain light, because the dress puts their curves, because it seemed cold outside and their bodies seem to be having some anatomically high beams or something. That's on you and in your thoughts. However, you are right. It doesn't make it easier, but it's not their fault, sir. You have to deal with your own flesh.
Gotcha. All right, Terry, what's your thing? How do you feel?
That's kind of it. What Dwayne just said. I mean, look, man. I wish you cannot blame someone else for your reactions to stuff. You just can't do it. Social media is full of, as we define them, as thirst traps. There are women, that are on the web. They post scantily clad pictures. They post scantily clad videos.
Right.
I mean, and so some folk, they do it because it's a freedom of expression.
Right.
That don't mean for you to jump in my inbox because you see me half naked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's about, like Sam said in the comments, it's about self-control. As a man, we have to be able to say, okay, it's a nice picture, and keep it moving. But at the same time, we have to understand that men are visual creatures too. So it is as men. What? That face? Oh yeah.
Oh no. This face is
my earbud. My sound's going out. I can't hear you guys.
Can you hear me? Well, this face for everybody that can. So while you guys are talking, my wonderful life partner, wife, she's saying she doesn't like this view.
It's just, hey Sam, we're not done. Believe me. You know us.
No, not the view of our opinion.
Oh,
no,
okay.
she don't like the way the screen looks. I'm sorry. Let me make that clear. She like the way the screen looks. How do you feel about it, Dwayne? Real quick, segueing, just off topic. You like this screen, or you just like you struggling with it too?
I think I'm okay right now.
All right,
but yeah, I got to start doing some facial. I got to start using some facial products because I'm seeing black marks and blemishes that. But no, it is what it is.
I'll shift it out. I'll give you all the room. I like that blue. I like that screen. That looks like that. You take pictures when you go to the photography place.
Right.
All right. So I guess Terry dropped out real quick. So my thing is, okay, so would you say, playing devil's advocate in a sense, would you say that when, like he said, just because I'm scantily dressed on Instagram, taking certain pictures or looking a certain way, does it call for a certain response, right?
No, I don't think it calls for a response. I just think we gotta be. Here's the thing: men, women, people in general, we like calling out people who don't do, believe, act like us.
Right.
If somebody has a different moral compass than us, people just feel like they are entitled to say something.
Right.
And I think, like what I said initially, that was the gray area. I mean, that was the black and white truth.
I got you.
Now, to really tackle this problem, you got to go into the weeds. You got to go into the gray area because it's not always that black and white. I think you got to look at who the woman is first and foremost. If you're talking about a married woman, I think that moves from being black and white to a gray area. Some people say, well, if my husband don't care, you shouldn't care. Okay, got it. If you're talking about a saved woman, I think by virtue of her being saved, she shouldn't look like at, say, 5-10 years of being saved the same way she looked at 21, 22 coming out the nightclub. There's a difference, and it comes with the maturity. I think when it comes to it, women have to look at the responsibility of where they are. I do think that there should be appropriate, and I'm gonna use cold quote appropriate unquote in certain venues.
Okay.
I don't think you need to be.
I gotta go through the comments first.
Right. I don't think you need to be in church looking like you in the blue flame.
Right.
Um,
Gotcha.
I don't think that you should be at the daycare or a place where there's multiple men and you know there are multiple men. Look, I've been married a couple times and I got sisters and nieces. One thing that I do know about women, for the ones who take the Instagram posts, y'all know exactly what you're doing and what you're going for. When you can't tell me different, because my wife will take 50 pictures in one pose and find the best one, the best light, the best whatever, and that's the one she uses. Me, I'm click and go. Click, next picture, click, next
Right.
picture. No, my wife, when it comes to the way she dressed, it's twofold. One is what makes her look good. Two, what the situation calls for, and three, situation dependent. I've had the conversation with my wife several times. Baby, you don't have to do this. Baby, you don't have to wear that. Baby, you don't need this. Baby, you know what she tells me, and I'm finally getting it.
What's up?
This is about me. It's not about you.
Right.
She was like, I'm wearing this to make me feel good. She was like,
Gotcha.
okay, you think I'm beautiful, but I need to feel beautiful too. So it's a lot of gray areas in there. It's not as cut and dry, but I don't think you need to have something with a V cut down to your second rib and you got D cups in church and you sit now, put something on to cover it up. Be a little modest in that situation.
Okay. So I'm gonna run through the comments real quick. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna keep you mute. Terry, you let me know, or you can hit it when you're ready. He says society. So with Coach, well, let's start with Sam. She says everyone has a responsibility to possess and exercise self-control. Kodan says society enjoys passing the buck. The wrong we do is always someone else's fault. Sam says his point is part of what is wrong with society now, not Cole, what the gentleman was speaking about. Everybody blames someone else for their choices because you do that, I do this, out of order. I agree with you, Samantha. I like the rectangular boxes more. I guess I'm voted out. I'm fine. I'll concede. And Ashley says, "Would you let your wife do OnlyFans?" OnlyFans. I mean, it can be used for a variety of things, but mostly it's been used for women to show themselves.
Ashley gonna make me cuss
in a provocative manner for a fee, basically. Provocative to the extreme. Sam says you don't have a right to tell a woman how she should look. Not your place, period. But I'm gonna come back to that one. Yep. The only exception is if your woman is your wife, and only if she gives the permission to critique her look. Cole Johnson, I agree with that. I don't say how my wife's looking to. She says, "Baby, how do I look?" All right. And I said, "He can't let me do anything. I make my own choices." Right. That is 100%, and that goes both ways. No one can make you do anything. It is your choice to listen to the other person or to be persuaded. As she says, there are some husbands who promote their wives' OnlyFans. It is so weird. What was the point in getting married? Well, my thing is, I guess they don't mind sharing the intimate parts of their wife for a fee because it's, I guess, either they need or just want money.
Money.
Yeah, it is weird. All right, Terry, waiting for you.
Okay, I was wondering if I can chime in here.
I just listen. I'm trying to get one through the comments and two, so everybody on the podcast can know what we're discussing. Because that when she actually dropped that comment, I didn't want to skip, so I wanted to make sure everybody got their say and everybody knows what's going on. Go ahead.
Ashley always doing that and dropping bombs and leaving. Hey Ashley, how you doing? But real quick, I did a podcast on this about OnlyFans. If so, you have to follow, and Dwayne was part of that. You have to follow the Nugget Chronicles podcast to listen to it. Shameless plug. Why you got the OnlyFans? And that was, OnlyFans. To answer her question, no, there's no way I would let my wife do an OnlyFans, and not only that, I wouldn't promote it. I'm not sure why men are promoting this kind of thing. But as far as I'm not sure why men are doing that. It's crazy. No, we can't control how. Like my wife, when she dresses up and she puts on makeup, I can't. I would never say to her, "Yeah, honey, that's a little low cut." Yeah. Okay, that's how you feel. All right. So
I like him today. He on it.
we're gonna incorporate him. So, but what I do is I encourage how beautiful he is,
Right.
and that's it. That's as far as I take it. Honey, you are beautiful.
Right.
Like, and she doesn't. Honey, could y'all please get him? I've actually like twice when I was on mute. But anyways, when she doesn't dress up often, but when she does, to me, she's immaculate. Right. I don't care what she got on. I'm like, man, I love you. You look good today.
Boy, shout your woman out. Talk about it. Talk about it.
You look good today. I ain't gonna say don't wear that. It's a little cut. Baby, we're going to dinner. You gonna wear that? No, we don't. No. That's my honey, and yes, sir. I'm going to show out. I don't care what you got on. So no, we don't have that right to say anything. Even if we're married, we have no right to tell her.
If booty cheeks hanging out, you good with that?
She with me.
You still good with that?
No, she with me.
Okay.
If she with me. Now, if she is,
I'm going out by myself.
By herself, I'll give it a side eye. But at the same time, I feel like there's a level of security in me to be like, okay, have a good time.
It ain't about security for me. I ain't want nobody looking at something that I got covenant with. If booty cheeks out, that's too much. Look, we sit here and we say, I understand we're trying to stay politically correct sometimes and don't want to. I know. I'm just saying everybody who may be listening.
Hey, Lise.
Yeah, we politically correct sometimes.
Hey,
but I think we look. If you feel that way, I can't argue against your feeling,
right? And
I can't disagree with your feeling. That's yours,
right?
But some of the things that goes along with it, when you're married, especially when you're Christian and you're married,
right?
You may not have a right to say A, B, or C, but your position should carry enough weight that if you said, baby, I don't think that this is what you should be wearing, being who you are, that's a different story. Now, if we're talking about your wife want to put on what you call them little things when springtime and summer get here that all the women wear sundress. If your wife want to put on a sundress, and look, and I think a sundress might be a weakness for most men when they girl put them on.
Yeah,
a sundress will flow and bounce and hug just right in every light almost.
Right.
You can't be mad if your what I say. You can't be mad if your woman fills out clothing a certain way.
Right.
You have nothing to say on that.
Right.
But when she starts showing off things that you are covenant owner of, like, let's be for real. My penis don't belong to me after I get married.
Right.
He said,
it's mine, but it's hers.
Right.
And if I wear those sweatpants where women drooling and go crazy, those gray sweatpants, and wear no underwear underneath them, so somebody could just stare at a print.
Right.
I am wrong. Now it depends on, like I said, it goes back to who the person is.
Right.
And now I do think there's instances where there's, like, when it comes to assault and rape and the name calling and the berating, no, brothers, you're wrong.
Right.
But when it comes to dress, okay, sister, if you ain't 22 in the club no more, you need to put that away. I ain't saying you get too old to look a certain way, but at some point in time, you have to be responsible for your appearance as well. Sometimes we got to remember, perception is reality. It's not true, but depending on who you are, it carries weight.
Yes. Let's see. As she says, let's see. Oh, he can't let me. Yeah, we passed that. As she said, there are some husbands who promote their wives' OnlyFans. It's so weird. What's the point to get married? I think I read that. I guess Ashley Collins, the bar 80s phrase. Husbands share wives' OnlyFans because sharing is caring. Let's see. That was to Terry. To your point, Terry, I accentuate when she looks really good. Lisa saying, "Hey, right, Cole. I'm with you, Dwayne. I don't want my wife to look like a Luke dancer out in public." And V backed it up by saying, "Not a Luke dancer. Don't stop. Get it. Get it." And Sam said, "Okay, Dwayne. Too much info, please." And with the throw up emojis.
Did I say something wrong?
I guess with the gray sweatpants. I think the gray sweatpants.
Okay,
This is Real Talk Tuesday. Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's talk about what's up, brother.
Okay, so real quick, we talk about Luke dancers and all that jazz. Listen, it's just like something Dwayne said earlier about maturity, right? If you're married,
right,
and if your wife is with you, she shouldn't, especially if she's saved,
right.
You know, she may tone herself down. I mean, whatever. I've never personally seen a saved woman of God with her cheeks out, clapping cheeks in public. I haven't seen that, because she's like, I respect my husband, because my wife and I have the thing to where when I step out, I represent her. When she steps out, she represents me. And it's got to be a level of maturity there to for her not to want to do that. Now, if she's single.
You watch Facebook Live on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
one thing. You can do what you want. I mean, but we just kind of have an agreement with that. So this is a very touchy subject, man, because it's a really touchy subject, because people say, "Well, I wear what I want to wear. I do what I want to do," and you're free. It's your right to do whatever. But come on now, you know that shirt's too low. I mean, sometimes it's a personal choice. You know that shirt's too low. You know that skirt's too tight. You know it's too short. I mean, you know that. So you wear it, it's choice. So don't be mad, when a man who's a visual creature by nature looks at you and says, "Ooh," or cat calls, or jumps in your DMs and stuff like that. So you have to be mindful of that kind of stuff.
I absolutely agree, Terry, and I think that I think there's a lot of fear. Look, we dudes, we mess up a whole lot. We do a lot of stupid stuff, and I think when we mess up, when we do stupid stuff, when we get exposed to our silliness, our mess, one of the things that occurs is it comes with a feeling of guilt and shame, or maybe more guilt than shame. If I know I done messed up and I've done a couple things that I'm not giving my wife the upper hand. I messed up and I do something, and then my wife turns around and do something. When I got a lot of guilt with me, I'm less likely when I still got a little dirt on me, when I still got a little stench on me. It's not an easy thing to say, "Baby, yeah, that's wrong." Because in your mind, you're like, "Baby, you can't wear that," but I can't say that because I just text somebody. I can't say that because you just caught me. We got to learn to be honest in these situations. It's a thing. A woman, I think a woman has the right to wear whatever she wants to wear, but like in everything else, know whatever you wear, there's a consequence for it. Like, okay. I think you need to go somewhere, or you want to go somewhere else, so I can finish this thought in another segment.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it gets to the point, like the things that bother me is when it gets to the point where women become assaulted or get raped or get called out of their names because of something. Right. Now, regardless whether I agree with what she's wearing or what she's not wearing or how much of it she's wearing, I don't think getting to the point of calling women names and forgetting that they're still women should ever cross our mind. If I'm a saved man and I'm calling out a woman who's dressing like she's walking a stroller, then I address her. First of all, I don't address her. I'm going to let a sister address her, unless I'm her pastor and I'm nobody's pastor, or unless she's a family member, somebody that I can talk to that way. But I hate when women catch the rap of how they dress, and then all of a sudden, because they don't want to talk to you, because they look like they should want to talk to you.
Right.
And ladies, what I mean, if your girls are popping out, and I can see prints, and I can see lines, just maybe, you have gone past where a woman, a classy woman, should go.
But
however, that does not give me the right to call you a hoe, a slut, a skank, any of those other things. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm saying that because I attempted to get something that said, come take me.
Right.
And when I attempted to get it, what it was saying, come take me, said, hell no. To the no.
All right.
At that point, I'm hating. And we've seen it. I remember being a kid in the 5th grade and you try to talk to a girl. Oh, you stank anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I know you had 3 boyfriends anyway.
Right.
Nah, dude,
mad.
you just
and your feelings hurt.
Yeah, you just can't. So half the hate women are coming from dudes who want you and can't have you, but they thought your clothes said, come talk to me.
Right.
So I really want to know you.
So all right. So okay, let me go through these comments real quick. I might have missed something, but Sam said, I absolutely can be mad and offended. Again, everyone should have some level of respect and control. I would check with my husband when I was married. Honey, what do you think about this outfit? Because you are a man. You have no self-control. Is that what you're saying? That's not controlling. So catcalling and commenting is fine. Just don't assault them. Why is it the woman's responsibility to be accountable for a man's lack of control, lack of emotional maturity? Amen, amen. But women say the same thing about men. I don't know what rock y'all been living under. Well, we're discussing from our perspective, and based on what I read in the beginning, if you hear the beginning, that there are things that men deal with. I'm personally dealing from my own perspective. But as far as I see it from my perspective in my world, I see it more on the woman's side than the man's side. And disrespect on either side doesn't fly. So if a fine woman approaches, I'm married, and she start calling me names, she is out of order, regardless. And if I approach a woman, of course I'm looking like, oh man, she is beautiful. I'm rolling up to her and I say hi. For me, I feel like that's respectful. How you doing? And you're like, boom, not interested in talking to nobody. All right, then, forget you in my head. And I'm walking away. But the cat calling, I feel you. I get that is a level of disrespect. It's been such a prevalent norm, to put it lightly. It's been such a prevalent norm to woo, 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 look at that, ooh, look at her, woo, woo. That's been.
This is not a construction site. I don't know.
Right. I'm just saying, but when I think cat calling, shit, really, she is what? Who? So if it's in that, the culture is changing. The culture is changing. We are becoming more sensitive to the way we treat our women. Even if you go back, unfortunately, to the 90s, it was still just as bad. Some of the, like we talk about playing house party. This was kind of the way we spoke, in a sense. Life, art imitating life, right? There you go. So he said, this. Oh, to this day, I hate walking by a group of men. I feel you. And it can be uncomfortable when men start. We start with the nonsense. But what about this, right? And this is, I guess, if you're walking by and someone like, hey, beautiful, just, is that a respectable manner? Because I always think about what's a best way to approach. Because I've heard women say they hate being approached when they're here, or they hate being approached when they're there. And these are, would be single. I hate being approached when I'm here, hate being approached when I'm there. But when is the proper time to speak to you? Because if you're in an elevator, I'm never gonna see you again. Like, hey, I don't see a ring on your finger. Like, hey, So it's finding the boundaries of the appropriate and inappropriate and stuff That's out of order. Go ahead.
I think I hate being approached is code for I don't want to be bothered, period.
Right.
I don't with women who say things
This is
like
how you do
that.
it.
I just think that at that moment in time,
Right.
at that moment in time, it don't matter where or who you are. Just don't talk to me. Because if you're at a club, everybody does things for different reasons.
Right.
Women truly do go to the club sometimes to hang out with their friends, to drink and to dance.
Right. Right.
That wasn't why I went to the club. and I'm pretty sure that most men that in clubs, that's not why they're going to the club. I went to the club to find Miss Right Now.
Right.
And I have fun with my boys in the adventure to find Miss Right Now.
Right.
That was it. So guess what? I was approaching you at the club because that's what we went to the club for. Now, sometimes there's misunderstandings. I went to the club, I saw you, and you didn't go to the club for the same thing I did. Now we got to discuss this, and okay, either I'm going to be mad or I'm going to be like, all right, I understand that, cool, have a nice night.
Right.
But it's a reality. We live in a world with multiple perceptions, and women generally see things differently than men generally see things, and that's just a fact. That's why we're at each other's necks all the time. That's why that's why you get men's like, no, my wife can't, but no, not my wife. Maybe his wife, but not mine.
Right.
And then women on the flip side, I'm grown. I bought these clothes. You want to tell me what to wear? You better start buying them. And then even when you buy them, sometimes you might not get. So it's constantly going to be a back and forth. You just got to learn how to understand the person that you're with.
So my question, I hear you, Moonstar. I hear you. I mean, you talking the 90s, 80s brothers right here. So we not in the game. So my question, right? So if your wife is wearing something, I won't use the word inappropriate, but maybe too much, what's the best way to approach it? Let that marinate, and we'll be right back. Because today at 8:30 tonight, we have the Sisters of Legacy. Speaking of the sisters today, we have the Sisters of Legacy with my wife and some other guests. It switches up sometimes, so I don't want to call it out. But they always have amazing conversations. So make sure you follow. All right, and be right back. All right. So
make sure y'all tune in tonight. Those sisters go in.
Good conversation. So how do you respectfully tell Terry? How do you respectfully tell? You see the booty cheeks out just a little lower than you like. The top is popping just a little more than you feel really comfortable with.
Well, my wife and I, we kind of have an understanding. I don't have to say nothing really, because I'm gonna give it I have an epic side eye face that I make at her.
See, he do be saying stuff. He just don't say it, but he be saying it. See, I knew it. I do look at it. Yeah.
But it's very rare because I let her be comfortable in her skin when she wears something. Now if it's outrageous, everything out, but the nipple, then I'm gonna say something. However, I let her rock what she want to rock. I don't too much say nothing. Just she's a reflection of me. So when people see her, they see me. Like I said earlier, when I step out, They see people see me, they see her. You know, so I don't. I try not to.
Okay.
I think it's only been maybe 2 instances in our 4 years of being together that it's been like, hey, babe, now come on now. Where you think you're going with that? You know, there's a couple of instances where I've done that, but it's very rare.
Okay.
Very
okay.
rare.
And Terry, I think me and you are on the same. We're on the same wavelength. Thankfully, I don't have that issue, and that's not to say that my wife don't like form-fitting clothes, because she do. That's not to say that my wife don't like to look good. She does, just like every other woman. I'm just thankful that for me, my wife has never crossed the line. And I think sometimes when men start talking like this, sometimes women shut down because, oh, here they go again. I ain't got time for it. Right. But the reality for me is, as long as me and my wife have conversations, and if I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure at least once or twice in the last 4.5, 5 years that I've done it. But in the event that something she has on is not in agreement with my spirit, I'm getting deep here. If something is not in agreement with my spirit,
with my Shondo.
He coming on a Honda. Untie my bow tie.
I tie my bow tie. Yeah, there you go.
So I literally think that when those occurrences happen, what I do is I remind my wife who I am and who else might be like me that she might encounter. I'm like, baby, look, I'm a man. I don't say much to you, but I think that's a little much.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
I'm saying that's a little much because I'm looking at you like I'm not fit to let you leave the house because I'm about to be a lion and pounce on you right now. Mm-hmm. Like those are the type. I try to be real in that instance, but like realistically, when we got married, I was already comfortable with who she is. So I had already saw who she was and how she dressed at what I would consider her wildest moment to her most conservative moment. And as long as the continuum exists between those 2 points, I'm okay. If my wife decide to walk out the house looking like a loop dancer tonight, then we got a problem because that's a side of her that ain't her. That don't belong to Stacey.
That's not even her.
I don't know who that. And get Anime Bullock out of here. I don't know her, so I don't have that issue. But if I did have the issue, I just let my wife know why I don't think it's appropriate, and then I incorporate my inability sometimes as a male to not be able to turn my mind off. Look, baby, this is what men are thinking when they see that. Now there's some things you could put on a burlap sack, and some men are gonna be like, "Oh, ooh, did you see the cake? Boy, she got cake."
Burlap sack.
Yeah, I did. Because some look, I done seen dude get excited over heroin addicts that got a big booty.
Into that too.
I seen dudes get excited over a heroin addict walking the street like a zombie that had a big booty. I passed by and he was like, "Whoa, dude, you saw all that?" Boy, she got meat for months. You could sit a gallon of water on that, and I'm like, dude.
But she smoked crack though.
I'm like, dude, it's 2:00 in the morning on Miracle Mile. You know what's out here, really? Yeah. But that's how the male mind works.
Right. You're right. You're right. Oh,
hey, Cheryl.
Let's dig into some of these comments. All right. So he said, Sister Legacy about to start jamming. So Sam says we are very different men and women, but your perception, keep it to yourself. Now, as far as that, I think with the married or husband, I mean, I'm expressing just how I'm feeling. You know, it doesn't mean you have to change. It just means I can't ignore what I'm feeling. Like I'm having a feeling, having a moment. She represents husbands at all times. That's right. Every time I hear the Sister Legacy theme, I think I'm at Atlanta Club. This is true.
In Tennessee. You played in Atlanta Club in Tennessee, Cole? Okay.
Men have to understand if you choose, and this is Cole Johnson. Men have to
Right.
understand that if you choose a woman that dresses too provocative for you, don't expect her to change if you decide to put a ring on it. True.
Good point.
Because
Facts.
when you know
Facts.
who you marry is the same person you married when you pull
Right.
them off the stripper pole. So don't again
Exactly.
be surprised.
Don't be mad.
You know,
Now,
do
I mean, I won't
if
say
you married Minister Becky,
right.
and then all of a sudden y'all on vacation, and Minister Becky want to wear a two-piece to go shopping, that's different.
Right.
But
Things
you know,
start changing up.
You know, she was popping it and making dudes make it rain. If you
Right.
know that's how she get down,
Right.
she's just getting how she live, and you decide to join that world.
Right.
Listen, it's just like the old saying goes: you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. That's that princess statement. I don't mean to. But you
Sometimes
can't,
people need to hear
you
the
got to
hard
understand
truth.
that going in. You have to understand that going in. Like just like Cole said. I mean, if you know that she a thirst trap before you marry her, don't be mad if she continues to be a thirst trap while you marry.
Right.
But you would hope that her getting married would stop her from being a thirst trap. But it is what it is.
I'm gonna need you to be an ambassador of goodwill and elicit an answer from your other half. She and I get where she's coming from, but I need to know, is she talking about at any point a man don't have the right to tell a woman what's appropriate versus inappropriate, or is it like, I mean, I'm trying to get where she coming, because I get where she's. I just want to understand the foundation of what she means.
From someone a stranger kind of thing, or outside, or is it inside the house kind of thing?
Right, or any man of any authority, of any access to her, or somebody who she doesn't know.
I don't know. She may still be on here. She'll probably respond in a minute. While we're waiting, I'm gonna do a quick ad for tonight is Solomon's Temple as well at 7 p.m. We have a guest speaker tonight. So stay tuned. We're gonna rock this out. All right. Actually asked an interesting question. She said, I think about this often. What do you do on social media now? Not only are your kids going to see this, but your great grandkids. What do you think they'll perceive of you and your character? She said, yeah, I think about that a lot.
Fantastic question, Ashley.
Yes.
I tell you the difference. During my age, you talk about our mamas, it was a fight. I had a friend. I'm not gonna call his name because we still friends. But when we was from the 3rd grade till about a sophomore in high school,
all right,
I'm gonna just say Mr. Manning. That's his last name. But Mr. Manning had the finest mama out of all of our friends. His mama dressed
like Miss Parker.
No. She was conservative.
Oh, okay.
His mom was conservative.
Okay.
But even being conservative in her dress, when she stepped out of the car, or she went to the principal's office, or she brought something to the classroom, she still looked like Miss Parker, bro. Gotcha. Conservative dress. You can't say nothing about the way she dressed, but she still looked like Miss Parker. Gotcha. We used to get in fights over stuff like that. Gotcha. You know how many fights me and my boy got into because, boy, if I was a little bit older, I might be your stepdad. we would say stupid stuff, and
right.
we got to an age where that it wasn't cool anymore.
Right.
It wasn't cool anymore. We got into fights over it. But here's the difference. Back then, that's what we did. Now, people, you remember American Pie? Do you know why Stifler's mom was so popular on American Pie? Because that type of thing didn't exist then. Right. Because all you had was memories. Right. So when somebody put Stifler's mom on TV, every young man in America could think about the Stifler mom that they knew. Maybe they didn't go as far as Stifler did, but I mean, that's American Pie for those of y'all that don't know Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Sam came in the room, and we're gonna get to you, Moonstar question. I was speaking specifically to whoever said a Christian woman shouldn't look like, or a classy woman shouldn't dress a certain way. Husband, wife doesn't apply. What do you do in your relationship is different. Meaning you and your spouse have to have your own understanding.
Oh, then we Gucci.
Yeah. I mean, the whole sometimes in church, the Christian woman thing. Yes, it's a stick. That's like a non-starter. He said, Moonstar said, I hear you talking, but how do you bring up your sons? Ooh, that's good. Oh, I'll say for myself, I teach, him to respect all. I teach him how to treat his mother right. I teach him how to treat his sister right. And the way he talks to her, way he talks, of course, mom does. That's a non-starter. Way he talks to his sister matters. And how he responds, and all those things. I don't teach him in the same old school bravado, man, be a man, kind of situation. But I teach him to be more respectable and understanding of who he is, and leadership and taking care of business, and being there emotionally. He's very compassionate, so he has that side. So I think that really matters. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you, AD. I try to teach Javante and even TJ at 3. Saying this is. I'll show him little things, and my big thing with Javante is respect and respecting his mother, respecting his sister. Even when he goes out in public, he acts better out in public though than he does at home. When it comes to stuff like that, it's when he goes out in public, it's amazing. We go out in public, he be yes sir, no sir, and yes ma'am, no ma'am in public. Right. But he get here. No, I ain't know that.
At least he don't embarrass you. That's the parent creed. Like, don't embarrass me out here.
Yeah, I get it.
And I feel both of y'all. But I want to throw a wrinkle in there. I only have one son, so my answer to his question would be, I focus on my 7 daughters when it comes to how my daughters should carry themselves and what they should expect. I'm real with them because I was a lion, and I don't need my daughter don't need to be any kind of injured antelope in the hunting grounds of a hungry lion. Right. So my daughter needs to be equipped first and foremost. But my single son, the reality of it is this: I can teach by mouth anything I want. That makes very little difference. Right. The teaching for our son comes in how they see you interact with your wife.
Yes.
How do they see you treat mama? How is that relationship? Yes. Then when it's just you and your son and you're at Walmart and Miss Parker walked by and she got cake for days, is daddy breaking his neck to watch the cake jiggle? Right. Is daddy smiling and flirting on the low, but didn't say nothing, so technically he's not wrong? Right. These are the things that we're teaching our sons.
Kids notice these things, everything.
Right. What we do here, that's maybe 25% of life and learning. What they see here and they hear here, what enters here and here is what our sons take in. So even when we're not teaching our children, they are in a learning environment. So you have to create an environment conducive for them to be a good man at all times.
Right. So Okay, so let's see. So we got that. As she said, but y'all have good kids though. I mean, yeah, good kids is a work in progress. like anybody with respectable kids or decent kids, they put work in. It never just happens automatically. Said
Yes.
not to, Sam said not to lead with eyes and hormones. So she says, see, that's always the issue. Girls should behave a certain way, so boys don't
No.
behave a
No,
certain
no,
way.
no. No, Sam,
Right.
you heard me wrong. I have 7 daughters.
Right.
So it's not girls should be, yeah, it is girls should behave a certain way. At the same time, it's boys should behave the right way too. I'm not making one and not the other. All I said is my focus when it comes to my daughters and men, my focus is not me worried about how somebody else raised their son. My focus is me raising and training my daughters correctly. I'm not saying that there's a difference. Matter of fact, it's the perfect time for me to pull out that scripture that I had talked about. I'm a copy it and post it on Periscope so you can put it on the screen for me, AD. But at the same time, men are responsible for men, right? We cannot pass the buck to our sisters. And here's the reason. Okay. So Matthew 5:28. Jesus talking, not Dwayne, Jesus. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust in their eyes,
Right.
in his heart, he has already committed adultery.
Right.
That's not your responsibility, woman. It don't matter if you got on a full length, old school, Pentecostal holiness, blue jean denim skirt that goes down past your ankles,
Right.
and you got on a starter jacket where you can't see anything, or whether you walking out in a 2-piece at the beach.
Right.
It's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility. It's all on what we see. And then what we do with what we see becomes more so our responsibility. When I see something, that's natural. When I have a thought, that's natural. But not every thought you have belongs to you.
Right.
The thought that you embrace and you internalize, that becomes your thought, that becomes your responsibility, that becomes your sin. That starts the whole process of your mind going to a place where it doesn't need to be.
Right. Right.
You got to remember, people always use another scripture when they're talking about food. When Paul says all things are permissible,
right,
but not all things are expedient. Just because you can do something doesn't mean it's good for you. You're absolutely right, Sam. It's not a woman's responsibility for a male's reaction. However, in this body of Christ, and I'm not even talking about unbelievers. If you're a believer, believe me, you dress how you want to dress. There's no accountability other than your conscience. But being in the body of Christ, if you know that there's something that you do that can make somebody else weak, the Bible says that you're supposed to think about those people and make adjustments. That has nothing to do with you, has everything to do with them. But we're not individuals completely in this world. Yet there's a lot of things in this world that are individual choices. But when we name ourselves under certain names, i.e. Jesus, then there's things that go into play. Now, it doesn't mean that what you have on is wrong. It means that you're thinking about your brother over here who obviously got a problem and can't handle it, or is going to lose everything. That's not your responsibility. But when you're being the type of person that God calls us to be, those are things that you at least factor into what you're putting on. So no, you're absolutely right. It's on us, 100%. That doesn't mean that they're not influential factors. Just like a person who goes out and kills 15 people and then they find out that he has this debilitating mental illness and he couldn't help it. That's true. He may have couldn't help it, but guess what? He's getting locked away somewhere.
Right.
Whether it's a mental hospital. So yeah, we still got to do time for our convictions and the things that we do, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that there aren't other things out there that are factors. Just because there's factors doesn't mean that the person who present those factors are wrong.
Right.
So
Right.
no, women are wrong for wearing it, but I think women need to understand the impact of what they put on. Just like men need to understand that just because a woman look a certain way, don't mean you can say anything you want or go up and do anything you want. You're wronger than two boys kissing on a Sunday morning at the altar, brothers.
All right. So Cole Johnson said there has to be a modeling of behavior in the home when the lack of God-fearing man who respect women is in a boy's life. Expect more wayward boys as they blossom to a man. It must come from a man treating a woman, preferably how a husband treats a wife. Yes, indeed. Cole says 7 daughters. God wanted to make sure you turned over a new leaf. Okay, Moonstar says, I understand that, but your hormones are a whole nother thing. You can't deny it. I'm gonna speak on that. Good morning, Mama McCory. Appreciate you rocking with us. Let's see. So when it comes to hormones, it's not about how you feel, because sometimes you can see a woman like, oh man, she's pretty. It's your response after that makes the difference. So you can control your actions. You can control where your thoughts take you after, you see a pretty woman. Like, oh man, she's pretty. Then let's keep it moving. Like if I'm with my son, I might see like, oh, in my head, oh, she's pretty. Keep it moving. You don't have to stop. Like there's no rule, no law that says, oh, I gotta stop and stare and ogle. Like that's purely your actions. That's purely on you. So you have control of you. You have control of your hormone. You have control of where things go. The problem is we always put it off on that, and then we blame. This is where we end up blaming the woman. Try telling the young people, if they're taught correctly, they would know how to manage their hormones. If they're taught correctly, they'll know how to manage. And yeah, you get around your boys, you're like, that's stupid. This is not proper behavior. This is not how you, man, life is more than this. And if I'm instilling this in my children with my words and my actions, then things begin to change. I know what traditionally boys will be boys. This boys club, this is the thing that we're trying to break up, but as men, we're trying to break it up without losing our masculinity as far as leadership, if that makes sense. We still are the ones that handle responsibility and do the things that it takes to protect our families. But that does not include ogling women, disrespecting women, treating women as objects. So we have to get away from that part.
And I think the people, look, here's the reality. We are not responsible for other people at the end of the day.
Right.
We are not. Look,
right.
7. Look, I'm gonna bring. I don't think I've ever used the biscuit analogy on here.
The biscuit. Break it down, brother.
But here's the biscuit analogy. Men are like biscuits, right? Okay. There's lots of things that you can do with a biscuit, right, AD?
Right.
There's biscuits and gravy. There's sausage biscuits. There's biscuits after the meal.
Yes, indeed.
Have you ever eaten a biscuit that had a center that's not cooked? Or you ever went through a drive-through and got a biscuit?
Right.
And it was way too soft on the inside.
Yeah.
Men are like biscuits. Unless that biscuit is put in the oven at the right temperature, at the right elevation, in the right type of oven for the right amount of time, it's not going to be the biscuit you hope for. What am I saying? If it takes 15 minutes to make a biscuit, and you pull that biscuit out at 12 minutes, do not ask me why that biscuit is messed up. Why your chicken biscuit just don't taste right. It's not hit. Right. Why you got a stomach ache. Right. The biscuit's not ready.
Right.
Well, it's not flaking right. It's not ready. It's a process.
Right.
Excuse me. We're a process. So when you tell me that it doesn't fly with 17, 18-year-old boys, I can agree with it. You know why? Because that 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy biscuit still supposed to be in the oven.
Right.
Sometimes the biscuit pulls itself out of the oven and like, oh, I want to go get this jelly. Yeah. And then it goes over and mess a couple people up. Nah,
Right.
get your butt back in the oven, biscuit. You ain't ready yet. Right. You're not mature enough. You can't handle this yet. Right. Sometimes women want a biscuit, but they ain't want to wait on the biscuit.
Right. Right.
Like, you got all of your breakfast ready. You got the grits if you eat grits. You got the sausage, the bacon, the eggs. You want the biscuit.
Right.
So you go pull the biscuit out at 12 minutes, 13 minutes, because it's close enough. It should be good. And then when that biscuit hurt your feelings,
right,
it's like, what's going on? The biscuit is still a biscuit.
Right.
At any point in time during that process, it's still a biscuit.
Right.
But that biscuit is not going to do what that biscuit is supposed to do at 12 minutes if it takes 15 minutes for the process.
Right.
Now, that's a biscuit. When I'm talking about us, some of us don't even get in the oven.
Mm.
Some of us don't have the oven around to give us that heat to cook us and to prepare us right. Some of us don't have fathers, and some mothers can do only what they can do.
Right.
So the reality of it is, yeah, there are 17-year, 18-year-olds out there that act like that. You know what else? There are 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds that act the same way because they're still raw biscuits running around here perpetrating to be a biscuit.
Right.
It's the reality. We always look at perfect world scenarios, and let's be real. The world that we're applying these scenarios to aren't perfect. So you got to throw in all the other factors.
Right.
Who's to say this young lady isn't broken?
True.
Who's to say that?
Right.
So here you are attempting to, because you like the way something looked and now you want it.
Right. So
you attempt to interact with it, and she's broken. I'm not even talking. I'm not calling every woman broke, because not every woman is broken. But I'm specifically talking about the ones that are broken. So you got this broken woman, and you are an unprepared man. You see something you want.
Right.
What do you think? Look, I'm just being real with you for a second. Saved, unsaved, whoever. What do you think is going to happen when you got a person with identity issues that date back to as far as they can remember, interacting with another person who has identity issues?
Right.
Here's the difference. You got some men with issues. I was a man with issues. I'm gonna tell you my story. And I always ran into multiple types of women. And two of the types of women that I ran into were women who had issues stemming from their childhood. And then the other type of woman that I ran into was women who didn't have issues from their childhood. You want to know what the difference in responses normally was?
What's that?
Hey, baby girl, you looking good tonight. And I'm old, and I ain't trying to get nobody no compliment. I was like, wow, that dress is really wearing you nicely.
Right.
Or you say something stupid to make them laugh, and then you start flirting. Right. Regardless, here's how it normally went down. Oh, you think so? Oh, you're so sweet. She got daddy issues in my mind. And normally I was right. She got daddy issues. I can treat her pretty much like I want to. And probably after I get bored, I'm gonna just bounce and not even like leave on a good note. She's even more broken than she started out. And then that behavior, that process, she probably replays that process 10, 15 times before she meets somebody who really loves her for her.
Got it.
And on the flip side, dude only knows one thing, that this right here makes him a man. So he acts off of that mindset.
Right.
And he's mistaken. And then he runs into that woman who doesn't have an issue with self-esteem or her body or anything else.
Right.
And she ain't giving him the time of day.
Right.
Now his pride is hurt.
Right.
And now he's, oh, you see these thoughts over here? You see all these names that they got for women?
Right.
That comes from men who usually have issues.
Right.
The men who don't have issues, like, sister, I understand it's your body. but there are dudes out here struggling. No, it's not your responsibility to check their morality or to help them with their morality. But if you want your brothers to win, you know, just think about it. And when I say think about it, all I'm talking about is certain occasions. There's some occasions where certain things shouldn't be worn. I don't think anybody's going to wear a two-piece bikini and have an argument about is that proper or improper in church. But when you wear things that give the appearance of a two-piece bikini, right. What am I saying? I was a young boy, 12, 13, a virgin, no girlfriend, not thinking about having sex or anything else. But I seen sisters who had on a pantsuit that showed the top of her thong. You know what that do to a 12-year-old boy in church? Mind you, I chose to be in church. My mama never made me go to church. I chose to be in church. But when I'm in church and I see a woman catch the Holy Ghost, having an intimate moment with God, right. The fact that the ushers got to bring out that towel or that blanket or whatever it is, the official name of the garment that they lay over sister as she pass out on the altar. Right. Why do you think they lay that on there, sisters? I need somebody to answer me that. If you can't understand what we're saying in some cases, why do you put that on the sister when she passed out at the altar? Or when the woman with all the cake, she breaks out into a shout. Right. She ain't breaking out into a shout to be twerking. But reality, if we're going to be real here, because we don't be real enough, the first thing that happens when we make a statement like this, oh, you shouldn't be looking at it like that. Man, I'm living this life in the flesh. My body is 100% flesh. Don't tell me that it's not a factor. When she gets to shouting and it looks like she's twerking because it's bouncing so much, it's not her problem. However, sister, you know whether or not you get what type of relationship you got with God. Now, if you're one of those sisters you shouting for the first time in life, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking about you, the ones of y'all that go home and because I used to do it, so don't tell me you don't do it. You playing your dance. You get over there and you practice it. You know what shakes and what don't shake.
I dig what you said because I know of some women that buy dresses for church and when they wear them in the dressing room, they shake just to make sure that the stuff stays in place. I get it.
Not that I can't help it. Not that I can't help it, bodies.
I know, but I mean, it's still the onus is still on.
It is. I'm just asking them to understand the point of view of what it can do. Because, like I said, I wasn't a grown man. I had at this point in time 0 bodies. Had never slept with a woman.
Gotcha.
Didn't know anything about that feeling. Right. But that 12-year-old me. Right. And that's why I'm saying just think about it. I'm not saying that it's your fault. Right. I'm just saying just think about the environment that you create because you are responsible for the environment you create. You're not responsible for anybody's actions. Mm-hmm. But you're responsible for and like I said, this is not everybody. This is not every woman at church. This is not every woman at shop. I'm just saying that the fact that they have to bring that little cloth out and lay it over a woman, that means somebody is cognitive enough and thinking about something enough to know that, hey, everybody in here might not be saved. Let me cover this woman up so this pervert over here on the altar might not be over here tempted to look.
That's true. And a lot of times they're wearing dresses, so you try to, because if I fall out, you're trying to be comfortable just falling out, and the ushers are going to cover you, so nothing should be showing. I get it. I dig it. But
do they cover women with pants?
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
That's
you know what? I take that back.
Some places do. Some places do. But the only point that I'm trying to make is if a female usher can in her mind say, oh, hold on, let me cover this sister up because there might be somebody looking at her. Right. If she can have that thought at the most intimate point in time, why can't you have that thought when it's not an intimate point? Not saying that it's on the woman. I'm just saying be cognitive of what you got on.
I figured.
It's still your wardrobe. You still pay for it. I ain't got nothing to say.
Right.
But don't be upset when you get certain responses, because this is the way men are. I'm not saying the response is right. I'm not saying it's.
I think, but it's still my right to be bothered by it, though. It's still my right to be bothered by it. You know, like even, I mean, I guess it's like a twofold. Like, I'm just trying to chill and not be bothered. Like, I go to a bar, you know, like I go to Red Lobster, sit at the bar, I just want to drink, and then some dude roll up on me. I mean, I guess, you know, it's like, man, I'm just trying to chill. I don't want to be bothered today. You know, like, I dig it because you're a pretty woman. You know you're pretty. You know you're beautiful. You know you fit your clothes well. You know, not even wearing anything scantily clad. Your shape is just wonderful, and it calls attention in a sense. Not your fault. You're just a natural thing.
Right.
And so I you know, it's still my right to have the feeling and to be bothered. My response, of course, matters, because, you know, there's no need for me to call out, like call them out, like, man, get out of here. You know, you don't have to get loud and ugly. Just like, you know, I don't be bothered today.
I guess a better way of me saying this is don't be surprised.
Couldn't come. Oh, I'm sorry. I know someone must have blocked you, and I don't know.
Hey, look, we don't do the blocking thing.
Yeah, we don't. Nah, listen. It's either it's one or the other. We're gonna keep you in, or we're gonna kick you out because you out of control. We'll answer just about any question. Like I said, as long as you ain't out of control, we kick you out. But I mean, like I said, someone else in Periscope might have did it because we don't we're not in there. But yeah, I don't want to be too much longer. But yeah, that we make part 2 of this. I'll probably dig in closer. It's the people. It's the people in here messing it up. I know. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we don't block anybody. Like, my control is either I'm a delete you. I generally keep you or delete you. What's up, Cheryl? All right. But this, we could probably go on for a minute about this, but the truth is, it is our responsibility. It's responsibility of others how they react. Your feelings are your feelings. It's just what you do with them is what matters. You know, that's where, like, when you're looking upon a woman, you know, you sin or you commit that adultery when you start conceiving an action.
Yeah, when you start interacting with that lust is when it and that's what I tell people. I was like, that's why with men it always starts with what you see. Right. It always starts with what we see. Right. And brothers, just because you see good, don't mean it's Campbell soup time. Don't mean it's Campbell soup time. No doubt. Sometimes you got to see good and just be like, well, thank you, God, and keep it moving. Right.
All right. So we'll definitely be here tomorrow. Topic about the same, unless something breaks in the election. We're gonna talk about that, but it seems like you're right here, right now with that. So we are switching up on topics. So I appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us every day. We'll be back same time, same channel, and all my podcast listeners, thank you for rocking with us. And if you've missed any of the episodes, definitely check out the podcast while you're driving. You get an opportunity to listen to us on the go without interruption. All right, so take care, be blessed, keep pushing, keep growing. Know that the Brothers of Legacy loves you, but God loves you more. Stay safe, keep wearing the mask. I know they're annoying, but stay safe, keep them distance, stop crowding up with strangers.
And keep your
I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another episode. Good morning.